as I'm going to varnish this particular painting, we're going to talk about something that we immediately are going to debunk. Because why am I seeing things of people saying, well, I don't know how to start. I don't know if I have the right materials. I don't know if the right technique. It has been so many years. This, that, and the third. All of the above. Your starting point is wherever you are. Your starting point is unambiguous. It doesn't discriminate. It's not looking at your situation. It's not looking at your wallet. It's not looking at your pocket. It's not looking at the clothes that you are wearing. Your starting point is not even looking at the people that you are hanging out with. It doesn't look at how tall you are, what your weight is. Your starting point is unambiguous, and it can be at any particular situation, moment in life. But you know what is going to be a problem? The hurdles that you're putting in front of the starting point. There are enough hurdles within the journey itself. Why are you putting hurdles in front of the starting point? And what do I mean by that? I'm laughing about it because I recognize it. But the funny thing is, the hurdles that you're putting in front of the starting point are those things that will not let you start. You are doing that. That can be negative thoughts. It could be you're waiting for a feeling, you're waiting for a sign, you're waiting to be motivated or inspired. It can be your environment, which makes you think that you can't start. It might be friends, families, peers, colleagues, strangers, people on the internet, right? People on Beyonce's internet telling you that you can't do it. All of these hurdles that you are taking on and are weighing down the decision to just start. You doing that. You might be thinking, but wait a minute, if people are making it hard for me, how am I doing that? Aren't you allowing those people to tell you what to do and what not to do before you're starting? Okay, so there is a responsibility in this. And I'm telling you that because that is not only an observation, that is also an experience. Because when I started out, I started in my living room with using my printing paper and some pencils to start drawing. I didn't start out in the studio. I didn't right away had, the opportunity to join group expositions or other opportunities. I didn't do that right away. I didn't paint the way that I painted right away. This is a painting of how I used to paint, the style that I used to have. This is how I paint right now. What you see me varnishing right now, that is my style that I have right now. I developed myself along the way. How? As I start, I would just ask, what is next? What is the next step? What is the next thing to do? And as long as I allow myself just to be open to it, to involve and not force anything, the answer would be there. This is the next thing. I would be, approached by a person. Hey, I know that you're painting. This might be a nice opportunity for you to join. Hey, I see your paintings. I would like to commission you. Hey, you have a great idea. Why don't you introduce that to a group of people and we can look if that might be great, etc., etc., etc. Your starting point is unambiguous. It really doesn't care anything about how you feel or what you do. I'm laughing about it, but I know that for certain people, this is really a serious matter. But I want to tell you that, baby, it's not that serious. It really isn't. It really isn't. You're going to start and you're going to be looking back like, what was I actually worrying about? What were those excuses that I was telling myself? But I think one of the biggest hurdles that people put in front of a starting point is how other people might look at them, how someone else is going to look at you. Does that make sense to you? You would like to have something in life. You want to do something in life. You want to have an experience to enrich your life. And therefore, you're going to look at how somebody else is going to look at you. Do you ask somebody else permission to breathe? No. So why would you do that with the experiences in life? You don't need somebody else's permission for that. Very much so if they have nothing invested into it. Not at all. No, this is you. Another very common hurdle is that people just don't believe enough in themselves. You don't have to believe maybe all the way, but your starting point, it doesn't even believe in that you have to have that. Your starting point just wants you to start. So if you have 10% of the belief or 100% of the belief, the starting point is, listen, it's all good. Are you going to start? Right? Even if you would say, I have 10% of the budget and somebody else says, well, I have 100% of a budget. That starting point is going to be like, okay, are you going to start? Are you going to do it right now? What are we going to do? Your starting point doesn't care anything at all. I think one of the most used examples that I always drag into a story is going to the gym. Because for you to go to the gym, you really don't need to feel like it. You just need to appear in the gym. All right? If I need to work out, I don't have to feel like it. I just have to do the work. I just have to show up and do the work. And each and every single time when I leave the gym, I'm like, man, I don't know what I was bugging for. Right? For the moments that I might be feeling like I don't feel like going to the gym, I eventually go to the gym. And every time it's like, I don't know what I was bugging for. That's because the starting point doesn't care about your feelings. There is no such thing as a bad start. You create the bad start by putting those hurdles, excuses, or whatever it is in front of that starting point. You do that. There is no such thing as a bad start. That's your perspective. Right? And when you look at it, and you might see, well, I want to have a good start, or this is a good start. Well, there's a perspective too. Eventually, that starting point doesn't care. Are you starting? When are you going to start? What are you going to do about it? All right? Good. See you at the next story.